Hello everyone, I'm Via, and right now I'm going to show you part 2 of my Hogwarts bullet journal theme. This month is going to be featuring Slytherin, and I am so excited to share the results. I already started by tearing out some colored paper in a dark green and some paper bag, and I'm just going to glue them together and glue them onto the page. I showed a bit more of this process in my previous video, so check that out if you want to see how I did it. In order to have the pages lay more flat, I'm going to close my book and place something heavy on top of it just until the glue dries. I've already penciled in the basic outline of my title, and so now I'm just going to go over it with a white gel pen. When you're drawing a pencil outline for any lettering project, it does not by any means have to be perfect or as detailed as the final result. I just mostly like to do it so that I have the right spacing, because I tend to either make the letters too big at the beginning and they get smaller at the end, or I completely run out of space altogether for my title. So don't worry about spending too much time on the penciling in part, but do make sure that you have a bit more patience when you get to the actual lettering. As I wrote my main title in a serif font, I'm going to write my subtitle, in this case Slytherin, in cursive to add contrast. Now onto my favorite part of this entire spread, the snake. As you can see, I drew in a pencil outline. Once again, this was just a basic outline just so I could figure out the spacing, and now I'm going to go in and add the details with pen. On the white parts of the paper, I'm going to draw with a black pen, but I'm going to use the white gel pen for the paper bag and the green paper. To add more detail to the snake, I drew organic looking spots throughout the entirety of its body. I filled some of the spots in with my pens, but I left some open for variety. Here's a closer look at how the snake turned out. This was the first time I'd ever drawn a snake, so I was very pleased with the result. Now that I had finished with the main elements of the design, I can move into some of the more detailed parts of the spread. In the top right hand corner, I wrote in a quote from the books that says, "Or perhaps in Slytherin you'll make your real friends, those cunning folk use any means to achieve their ends." After that, I took a metallic silver marker, and in the bottom left hand corner, I wrote in some traits of the house. The traits I chose that I felt best emphasized what it meant to be a Slytherin were ambition, cunning, resourcefulness, and leadership. The remaining space, I'm going to use a combination of watercolor and also drawing with my pens in order to complete the spread. In an attempt to mix the perfect Slytherin green, I tried to mix a emerald green, a light brown, as well as a navy blue together. It took a few tries, but eventually I was able to get the right combination that was a similar tone to the paper that I used. When I was trying to find things that represented Slytherin, I came across a lot of pictures of old potion bottles, and I just thought that they both encapsulated the mystery and also the sophistication of the Slytherin house. So I decided to paint quite a few of these up in the upper left hand corner, and I also drew some down at the bottom right hand side of this page. I mixed up the different sizes and shapes and stoppers of the bottles, so there's a wide variety of them and no two were the same. I also painted a streak of green paint by the head of the snake, and that's where I wrote the euron. While I was waiting for some of the watercolor to dry, I took a ruler and a small torn piece of the green paper, and I drew a white grid on the paper in order to imitate a patterned paper. I then took that piece of paper and I put it on the lower right hand corner of the page. I love this trick because it's a really easy thing to do with any type of paper that you have laying around, even construction paper, and this saves you a lot of money instead of trying to buy patterned paper. Now that the green paint is dried, I was able to write 2021 on the streak of paint that I put by the snake's head. I also added in a little bit of a design with the white gel pen on top of the numbers. With my black felt tip pen, I went to the green potion bottles that I had painted, and I outlined them, added detail, and drew labels on them. I felt like the potion bottles needed just a little bit more pop, so I took my white gel pen and I filled in the labels and added some highlights. I also went over the highlights once more on my date, and I took a sparkly green gel pen and added some detail to the potion bottles I had drawn on the bottom. Finally, to complete the spread, I went over the entire page with my black and white pens and I drew little stars and dots to fill in the empty spaces. And there you have it. Here is how the Slytherin spread turned out in the end. I think it looks so cool, and I love how this turned out. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you!